It's a special day. How to level up. Teaching what I know and what I learned from being in business 20 plus years. I have officially been self employed or a business owner longer than I ever had a job. Many of you young people, you're going to hit this, be on this path because you're never really going to have a job or a career. You're going to be self employed or you're going to be a freelancer. So that's going to be very nice for you. It's a very interesting thing how people are emerging in this world today, how people are transitioning in this world today, how things are going in this world today. It's very, very cool. So, we're going to talk about what I've learned and what I can bring your way, what I can distill to you from being there, from going first. So, one of the things I want to talk about is the education. The theme is self education. Teach yourself, take responsibility for the things that you're going to do with your life. Take responsibility for your education, take responsibility for your future. This is one of the things, a big theme that we're on. So, what I'm going to do is take you through the things that I've learned and how I can help you. So, we will start here. The Hustler Mindset Project, thinkifit.com. This was one of the first sites that I did. I did this concurrently with the Hustlers Kung Fu University. But here's some stuff. This is some really good stuff. The Power of Six Productivity course teaches you how to get more stuff done faster. The 24-hour startup, how to start a business in 24 hours, and scripted days is super powerful. So these are three courses that I created a few years ago that you can benefit greatly from today. Now, let's talk about the Power of Six. Power of Six, I got this from Earl Nightingale. And this is one of the things that I got a hold of and I tinkered with it and made it better because this is part of, Earl Nightingale, it's a productivity exercise of creating lists and putting priority on these lists on how to move your day ahead. So this was a very powerful thing. So let's go with that. So this is an older site. Then Hustlers Kung Fu University. We have so much here. There's just so many things I've learned. I will get in here and I will go. I learned a lot from Craigslist. I was doing, matter of fact, let me just go ahead and hip you to this. YouTube, the influence frame. I just did this one a little while ago, game of strategy. Go ahead and subscribe to this because we're going to get into some man training. I'm 52 years old. I've learned a few things. I've been around the block a few times. I have created situations. So go ahead and check out the influence frame, how to become an effective man. I've done away with the alpha and beta stuff because it doesn't really matter if you're not effective. An ineffective alpha is what do we call an ineffective alpha? A loser. So, how to be effective, how to get the life you want, how to become a better man. So, go ahead and check that out. Now, back to this is where I've put a lot of stuff. This is so many things that I've learned because I'm just sitting here. For those of you who want this, how to start an online business for 500. This is something that I've done. This YouTube channel cost me $282 to start. $282 to start. That's amazing when you think of what it has done, what it has continued to do, how it has continued to cast off dividends. So when I'm teaching you how to do something, this is something I've done. No theory. So let's get off in here. So, how to start an online business for 500. Pimping Craigslist for fun and profit. Did that. Hustling 105, how to start your business as fast as possible. Done that. The American Hustler podcast, the art of hustling disruptive cash. Started with no money. Did that. Hustling, starting with what you are, starting a business for $100. How to turn your hustle into business 104. How to start a business as fast as possible. 10 essential steps to hustling. How to get a secure credit card the right way. Hustle, sweat, profit. I have done a lot in life. And what I want to do is share this with you. Fat Cat Secrets, creating a YouTube channel for fun and profit. Done that. The art of holding, that's below. I'm going to add some more stuff to that. So be on the lookout for that. That's coming soon. So everyone who's bought it, when I add the new stuff, if you bought it already, you will get that. Done that. $25 hustle, 30 days the 2500 original course, becoming a boss. I'm just going back and I'm looking at all these things I have done. Hustling Craigslist to enter game. This is one of the issues that has happened. The child support deal, been through that, won that case. Disruptive mating, local hustles, asking for the money, how to be an Uber salesperson. This is one of the more important courses because it talks about selling, how to get that money, how to set up, how to become a salesperson. This has been a relatively consistent theme in my life. Consistent being in sales, selling something, creating products. This has been a consistent theme in my life. How to One of the things that happened was I created situations that benefited me. If something wasn't working for me, I would hack that system. Like taking dating back in the day. And dating was easier for me. It just wasn't optimized. So I created my own optimized dating system. It's pretty sweet when you think about it. Let's see. We got that situation, but asking for the money, something I do frequently. So you got to be sure to check that out. Let's see. The Audible book, How to Organize Parenting Companies, What, Why, What, and Where. Fat Cat Secrets Parenting Contracts. Primal Drive. This is another awesome thing that you can get. It's an audio book. The one thing that I could urge you, that I can drop on you, that I can teach you is to do more. When you're looking back over your life, the regrets you will have will be for the things that you did not try to do. They will not be for the mistakes you've made. They will not be for the people you hurt unless you've killed somebody. But typically, most of your regrets will be things that you did not try to do. That's where a lot of regret comes from. I used to work in a hospital around a bunch of older people, and they would get into dementia and they would be having these conversations with people. And I would assume that this was unfinished business that these people had. A lot of unfinished business was happening up in the hospital. Don't let that be you. Do more in life. Do as much as you can, experience as much as you can. That's going to be real. You want to experience as much as you can. You want to do as much as you can. You want to set up much as you can. Here's something else I've done. And once again, we don't have theory here. This is stuff that has been done and proven to work. Let's see. Let's go back to 30 days, 2,500 physical products. A lot of stuff that's going on, man. A lot of stuff. Also, what we're getting ready to do is going to crank up the disruptive mail because I already have this site and I'm not doing anything with it. So I'm going to start doing some training here. And what we're going to get into. I need to get rid of that. Unpublish. Get rid of that. We're not doing the private conversations. It was very interesting that Stripe said they could not support this site. But we're going to get into some more stuff that isn't listed. We're going to get into how to develop self confidence. That's a course that I need to do. And the way that I'm going to teach you how to do self confidence is not to sit and fake it. One of the big things that we have is many people faking the funk. And that's not how I developed self confidence. My self confidence came from doing things. That's where self confidence came from. This is relatively new. Um, you put my name in, you see a lot of stuff. This is where the self confidence comes. It comes from doing, it comes from creating things. Oh, look at this. Huh. I didn't even know that they were talking about how does Glenn and Cameron get away with charges 60 for his book. The only difference between you and Glennon is you aren't doing. uh, wow, that site is gone. That site is toast. It is garbage now. I guess everything doesn't last forever. I forgot all about this. I've got content literally everywhere. I completely forgot about that. So the way that I will teach you how to do self confidence is you got to do something. Just sitting around. I mean, once again, the biggest regrets you will have in your life will stem from the things you did not do. You kind of wanted to do them, but you didn't do them. So you got to be a person of action. You've got to be someone who's out here trying to get it, who's out here trying to make things happen. So this is where your self-confidence comes from. Creating stuff, putting stuff out there. And I'll show you stuff to brag. I don't show you this to brag. I show you this because these are accomplishments. These are things I've done. For you to have the life that you want to have, you got to do some things. You got to go ahead and do things, S- set goals, achieve your goals, go as hard as possible, hard as you can for your goals, to realize your goals, to become the best version of yourself you can. This is one of the things that you got to do. And this is how you do it. So we're going to be doing some stuff here. And I want you to think about all of the time it took me to put this stuff together. I was doing two things at one time. Then you also have this new site, Creating Profit in an Uncertain World, Money Management, the Basics of Finance and Wealth Development. get that course. This is stuff that I have learned that I can teach you. This is something that I have set up because of, being in business 20 years. This all not because this is what happens. When you do one thing, it creates a reaction. So when you open the door, air rushes into the room, air rushes out of the room. So the more action points you take in life, the more repercussions that you cause. I don't know if I can articulate how important it is for you to create as many experiences as you possibly can. How do you save money when you have bills? You make more money. That's what you do. You're not going to be able, and this is something that many people do that's a problem. Let's say you make $40,000 a year. You're trying to live as hard as you can off that 40,000 when you should be making more money, when you should be pushing yourself to make more money. And you should be careful. You know what you need to do? You need to go ahead and get this money management's the basis of finance and wealth development that teaches you how to handle your money. Now, I've had this saying on YouTube for years: manage your money, or your money's gonna manage you. This is the reality of the situation. Manage your money, or your money's gonna manage you. This is the reality to the situation because whether you make $5 an hour or you make $500 an hour, you still need a budget. You still need a game plan. You still need the 5 checking account blueprint. This is how people go broke. You have someone who's an athlete, then they stop playing, and a few years later, they're broke because they were used to living on that high income. They never learned how to budget. And this is why I love articles about new players, new people getting in the league, and they're managing their money much better. They're they're just so much better at being on top of their finances. This is an incredible thing that many people are transitioning to. How many of you are living your best life? How many of you are living a life of design and intent? Seriously, how many of you live in that life? How many of you are living a life of an intention? How to level up, teaching you what I know and learned in business 20 plus years. Most businesses have a sales problem. They have a sales problem and a marketing and advertising problem. And, like to Scorpio life, you need to get some additional income in there. because you clearly don't have enough money and you've been living on credit as an extension of income. This is one of the things that you should not do. This is one of the things that is poison to your budget. So take that into consideration. How many here have learned how to sell? I'm just curious. So we've got the money management course. We've got, let me see, trying to get it back. We got the disruptive course. We've got, all righty. Apparently, I clicked on that quite a bit. There we go. So we've got money, income, profit. We've got disruptive mail. We got Hustlers Kung Fu University. Back out of that. And the dojo. This is all the stuff that I put together for y'all to teach you how to be better people, to teach you how to handle your money, teach you how to start a company, teach you how to be better, teach you a little metaphysical stuff, teach you how to be better with women. It's a lot of stuff here. Engineer life skills. I don't know anything about being a truck driver, so I don't teach that. No notifications. I don't really know anything about trucking, so that's why I don't talk about trucking. Um, I put up a few videos a while ago trying to help truckers, but that's not my wheelhouse. I'm a digital asset creator. So I think, how many of you have a clear ideal what kind of life that you want to have? If I can teach you something, it is super important to be able to articulate what kind of life that you want to have, because that's where it all stems from. If you just go ahead and, like, get into trucking because your friend Jody told you that trucking was good, may work out, may not. How many of you have sat down and said, this is the type of life that I want to have? And this is my plan to get this life. The life I have is not an accident. I'm going to give you the situation of how it happened. Matter of fact, let me take you through the whole process. All right, so let's start with, this is about 5 or 6 years old. And essentially, I teach what I do. And, with business, there's many parts of business, like this course. It's a productivity course. And this is a framework on how to start a company very fast. And this script your days is the metaphysical thing. I guarantee you, if you start planning your evenings and mornings with this course, your life will change. Disruptive mail. This came right off of the Craigslist protocols. The Craigslist protocols opened up so many doors for me, so many experiences for me. And I got to say, it changed my life because the first thing that happened was I got out the storage auction business. I started this YouTube channel and I made that Wi-Fi bread, as that guy says. I love that. I started making money from my mind. I started making my money by creating and putting out products. Changed my life. And when my book was stroking, like the summer of 2011, I put in, I had a goal to have sex with 30 women, hit 27. All this became possible because I set goals. All of this became possible because I said, this is the type of life that I want to have. And I'm going for it. I don't want to drive in traffic. So I'm going to work from home. I don't want to have crazy coworkers. I mean, this is one of the things. When I used to have jobs, there will always be some yard bird. There will always be someone who wasn't doing their job, who wasn't working as hard as I was. I hated that. Used to burn my britches. So I'm like, I didn't want to have shiftless, lazy coworkers because that meant I had to do more to pick up their load. This is all by intent and design. If you want to have more success, you've got to create and dream about more success. I have a freight biz with hubby. Hubby has 20 years. I always for known for a while I was to have a had a creative vision, but my execution is where things get jumbled. Well, your own problem, man. Get on that. Scorpio life. What if a lot of others are? Well, whenever you see a market that crowded, that means there's money there. Ashton Richards. I'm starting to figure it out. I think just want to be able to build tech projects or work with my hands as a craftsman undisturbed. Skynet. Y'all cracking me up with that Skynet. What's up, Randall? Alice Harley, thank you for the $5 super chat. The big thing that I can teach you is to define what you want your life to be. Don't let anyone else define what because essentially this is how most people live life. They're born, their parents decide who their friends are going to be by where they live. Your parents decide what type of education you're going to get by where they live. Your parents decide your religion. How many of you have said, look, this was great for mom and dad. God bless them, but it ain't good for me. So I'm going to do my own thing. That's one of the things that you've got to wrap your head around. You've got to be intentional about living. You need to write down the type of life you want to live. That's one of the things you need to open yourself up to because essentially, if you don't take that time and create those moments of self reflection, like this how you end up marrying someone you don't want to be married to because you don't like them. You might love them, but you don't like them. This is something I learned being married. I love my wife, but I didn't like her as a person. And this was part of the working through the first few years. I just didn't like her as a person. So this is one of the things that you've got to weather the storm. Who here has a goal of a better life? Who here has said, hey, life, this ain't working. I'm getting ready to do something different. I think this is why people watch all of these folks who are living in vans. And because these folks have sat down and said, look, I don't make enough money. I want to travel. The only way that I'm going to be able to travel is I live in this van. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out and find me a van. I'm going to build it, put it together. I'm going to hit the road. Antonio Williams, better, not bitter. That's a good point because typically you can have a better life if you decide to have a better life. Mentor Shelley, I have several goals to make my life better. All right, Richard Mayfield, I have a goal, written it down, say it twice daily, working on it. The repetition is so important, man. Look at your goal, study your goal, and work on your goal. Very, very important. Because essentially, I'm going to get to sharpen up the training and sharpen up how I do things. Because there is so many things that are going on. Rugged Collars, I'm creating a better life, but mainly for the next generation. First in family to go deep in business. Congratulations. You got kids? I didn't know you had kids, Rugged Collar. Mitch Shelley currently working on them now. Working for the next generation is going to make your current reality much better because you have a purpose, you have a why that you're working on. So that's going to take you very far. Who else here is they're the first person to be in business? Who else is the first person to see Father Mary? She's just joining the chat. Welcome. No, no, no kids, nieces and cousins. All right, because I didn't think you had any kids, man. How many of you want to have kids who don't currently have them? Richard Mayfield's the first. How many of you want to be, Papa on the wall? They got your picture on the wall, and it's like, Papa did this thing. One of the things that I have seen with some people is these kids who have a father or an uncle who's gone ahead and just like this one kid, he's working on the van and he has this garage and all these tools. And I'm like, that ain't him. The importance of having people in the family with resources for YouTube is amazing. Excalibur, I want kids, but only within a marriage. That's a beautiful thing. I agree with you. I do. My husband don't yet. Okay. Kirkwood 81, yes, with the right woman. Excalibur, yes, I want my port. You want to be Papa? You know what I mean? One of the kids, but just did not work out. Cruz Anton, everyone follows the status quo. I've always been different. Being different is good. Being different, you can change your reality, you can change your world. One of the things that I can teach you is to do more. Do way more than you think you can. Following up on how to double your income. You want to get busy, living, shaping, experimenting, doing more things. You want to be productive every day of your life. Because I'm just sitting here, because I've been watching these van videos because I think I want an RV. I don't think I want to, quote, live on the road, but I do think I want to take a few trips in the RV. Crazy, I know. So you got to study this stuff. You got to look at it. You got to figure out where you can fit in. Exact. Expect crypto, get busy living, to get busy dying. Because either you living or dying. Because once you get to I'm on the other side of the hill. I'm going down the hill. I'm not going up the hill. And I got to make each day as enjoyable as I can. One of the things that I can tell you is many of the fears that you have will never be realized. I try something and I fall down and people gonna laugh at me. Most folks ain't even gonna know what you're doing. Most of you are not gonna be doing, most of you are having fears that will never be realized. Like, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but a lot of you can walk down the street naked and most folks won't notice. You might end up on the news as the naked walking person, but not many folks will notice. Many folks are like, oh, Cruz. That's why I appreciate you to give practical information so real. Yeah, because the thing is, we all are born and we all gonna die. And what we do between, the dash, that middle part, your birth date, your death date, that dash, the more that you do each day, the more that you try, the richer your life's gonna be. TF Fighter Mary. Your desire for kids with marriage is one of the gifts of your fight. Yeah, because other than that one slip, only kids I had were during marriage. And this was a life lesson because when you deal with someone who has a radical different philosophy than you do, because she was on that ghetto and hood stuff. That's what she was born in, and that's what she returned to. And that was just incongruent with me because I remember she told me I left New York because of all these bad things. But the minute something happened, that's what she ran back to. That's what people tell you, and there's who they really are. And, I was pissed because I didn't want to have any kids out of wedlock. I did not want to be in that situation. And not with her, because she was just a hothead. She was just an idiot. And look at what happened. She made some moves, which forced me to make some moves. And here we are today. Nothing to be feared, but fear itself is easier said than done for people. True. Cruz Anton, I found out that when you just take a few steps, most people will either admire it or won't say anything because most people looking for someone to fall. Hmm. Louis the Seller, I'm going downhill. I turned 51 this past April. My bladder's going, my eyesight already left. Dang, man. Get on the internet, no kids in the future, maybe. I mean, the reality is the life you have is a choice. And many people are making bad decisions and they wonder why their lives are so crappy. Because when I wrote my first book, it was some family drama going on. My mother got sick. And because I did it the last time, the expectation was for me to drop everything and run home and take care of mom and leaving those two off the hook. And I was like, look, ain't nothing I can do. Remember, I don't know if y'all have seen my video about talking about being selfish, but there's a time in your life you need to be selfish because if you've got family, family will use you quicker than anyone else. My ex tried to take me back to the hood. I cut her loose. This is why I talk about hoodology, ghetto. It's a problem for many people because they just can't leave that stuff. You know, the ghetto folks are like when you on your Facebook friends, you move to the suburbs and they hating. They're like, oh, Tim moved to the suburbs. Look at him. He must think he big stuff. You got to get rid of that. Rugged collars, my kid is my business. All right, all right. I can see that. I can feel that. Scorpio life, you got to research the market. That is just not an easy question to answer. You got to go ahead and get into researching what other people are charging and to see what your sweet spot can be. You got to get into that research game because typically, let's see, my delivery guy charged $50 to deliver most stuff. And sometimes I would pay him, I would include the price of delivery in the purchase price. And this is one of the things that you have to consistently be looking at market forces and pricing. So I knew this guy was $50. And I remember I had this bed that I had to fix because it was only the headboard and the footboard. There were no rails and slats, so I had to make them. I had to go to Home Depot. I spent like $63. The unit cost me $200. Other stuff I sold out of there, I had made 1,000. So 63 from 1,000 was $960. Sold the bed for 550 plus the $50 delivery. And it was just I essentially had to drill some holes through the front, which some people didn't like because these hidden screws, these sunken screws, can get a little tricky. And the bed was super massive. It was heavy, heavy, heavy. And I just wanted to be assured that someone bought that from me and they used it, that the bed wasn't gonna fall on them. And you get on the internet, don't give up on us millennials. I think 2020 will be better for some surprises coming. Louis the Cell, thanks for sharing your recent health issues. Because of it, I went and got a checkup. I'm now on high blood pressure pills and found out I'm diabetic. I would have never known if not for you. Wow, Louis. Glad you're taking care of your health. Yeah, I mean, I put out the warning like high blood pressure, they used to call it the silent killer in television advertising, and it can be silent because you don't know what's going on, you don't feel it. So, congratulations for getting your health together. Mentor Shelley, I'm allergic to the whole hood culture, not part of my life. Expat Crypto, about to take a 2-week cross country road trip as a thank you to my parents for all they've done now that I'm financially secure. Don't want to regret not doing it. That's the stuff I'm talking about, because if you can do certain things, your biggest regrets are going to come from things you did not do but wanted to do. Engineered cannabis. How do you dominate in the market few people are in? Go hard. For about 2.5 years, I dominated the storage auction business. And part of that domination began because I had a 14-month lead on everybody. The television shows, the other storage auction blogs, 14 months. And during those 14 months, I was doing the most. Sometimes I would put up 4 videos per day. I had several blog posts. Essentially, you want to dominate the market, you outwork everyone. That's what you want to do. You just own that market. You just take it over. And I didn't even know that I had owned the market until it was over, because I saw people coming out with other storage auction related products and books and stuff. And I was watching my sales dip. 'Cause the thing is, my book was stroking it out. It was making like 150,000 dollars a month. Then one month, I got that check from Amazon, and it was only 45,000. Then the next month, that check was 20. I mean, when it's about to be over, it doesn't ratchet down like this. No, 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 no. It's just boom. It just drops. That's how a market move. Market will disappear on you in a heartbeat. What's up, Johnny Walden? That's how, I mean, because the thing is, it's like someone was turning water off and on. That's how fast it ended for me. And fortunately, I was putting coins away. So when it was over, I was still in very good shape. But man, it was crazy how fast that ended. And I saw these people, like one of those forums, I was just, but that forum's gone, because it's been a minute since I have, you know, went down this path, right? This is your site on Google. See, they got me here. It's amazing how Google ranks your stuff. But this is see, these folks, this site's gone. They had all kinds of smack up there about me. I got into fights on this website. Um, Nothing. So they're not even paying their bills, or it's just not worth keeping the site up anymore. Oh, this idiot here. He's a hustler. He admits it over and over there. He therefore will hustle you. Billy Bob Canuck, the real dojo. That's true. And I love this comment. Never heard of him. Why did you make an account solely for complaining about him? What do you guys think about Glendon Cameron? This is Roach Boy. This is the boy that had the discolored teeth. He had did 2 videos with Roach crawling across the video. I bought one of his courses, which is extremely poorly done. Uh, mm, man, Maul, the info was basic common sense. When I went to get a refund back, he would not give me one. Extremely shady in my opinion. I wonder if anyone else had an experience with this guy. Crockett, I remember watching some of his videos in the past and they seemed okay. No idea about any course he offers. Honestly, though, there's a ton of free info out there on the net between blogs and YouTube videos. You should be able to figure out what you need to know. No reason to think you would gain some valuable insights from an online course. The real dojo, and this is one of the point. I wasn't a reseller. He just wanted to give people a heads up in the resale community, as I would want for myself. I assume you would also appreciate someone out looking for you. Spife, and then roughly 1 week has 9 long videos on YouTube page. Tells me everything I need to know. Kind of amazes me there's a market for shit like that. He's clearly getting a few people. His info page is just a list of products he's selling. Skills mate. Gildan is a babbling baboom as far as I'm concerned. He's a shield like the rest of YouTubers selling their personal get rich guides and classes. The only difference is Glendon takes it to the extremes and flaunts about how successful an entrepreneur he is constantly. I'm not surprised you got scammed by him. Definitely a shady character. And this was here. Being smarter than you doesn't have to equal being shady. So you equate shady with being smart. I see what type of person you are. I see Urban Gray. I see you're the type that doesn't read closely. That's probably the reason you bought more than you needed from him. I hope he enjoys your money. And there was some more comments there, but I didn't even get into it because I've learned how to stay out of stuff. Oh, this I'm just finding all this stuff. An Instagram account probably hooked up to an email address I don't no longer have. I have no clue. Oh, I know where this car was. This is way old. I made this whole family famous with my dick. Pretty much. Urban Pack Rat, chilling at Old Navy. I remember this crew. They used to it's crazy. This is from a long, long time ago. Meech. Wow, wow, wow. This is bringing back memories. My old gym, Trayvon Martin, 2012. Yeah, I don't have that email address. I have no clue to what would find that. I was on this show. Clarity. blogger, nothing there. I needed to do this earlier. It's amazing how many websites that are gone that still pop up. Yep, that's kind of it. Bright 560. Work harder. Awesome, Richard Mayfield. The Ask for Money course has been helping with reselling great tips. Louis the Seller, you outlisted all of most of your enemies. That says it all. Louis, that is wow. Because I have stopped going back to look at them, but yeah, you remember the environment it was in 2012, 13, 14. Richard also enjoyed Fat Cat Secrets. Mentor Shelley, all of those trolls are gone. Ricardo Richard, if you were doing an Airbnb in your primary residence, would you do an LLC? Absolutely. This is how actually I can help you with that Scorpio life because as Louis the Seller can attest, I had people in my ass every week saying bad things about me, doing hangouts. And you know how you combat people who are trying to tarnish your reputation? Don't address them and keep putting out content. Because as Louis just said, you've outlasted all the most of your enemies. I mean, there was like, I can't even remember their names. There was so many of them at one point. It was ridiculous. But someone, that's how you manage your personal brand is getting public shame. You keep putting out content, you keep putting a good face on it. And that's what I did. Because they were after me. And like the real dodo, I know exactly who he was. I remember the dust up we had. I didn't respond. And people in the thread, they didn't buy it. It went nowhere. It really went nowhere. And that's one of the things I had to learn about brand management was because that stuff came up on page one of Google, and you see it's like page 5 or 6 right now. And it's one of the things that you have to just weather the storm. But as Louis the Seller can testify, I had so many haters, so many crazy people coming after me. It was wild. It was crazy. But yeah, you just keep putting the content out. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. That's how you handle that. You just keep putting stuff out. All right. So I will see you guys later. Have a good one. Thanks for sharing this time with me.